We wait because in live time, you have to wait for people to show up. You know what I'm saying? But if you're not watching this in live, which you're not because no one's in here, then you're watching this in the future. And hello, I will start talking about things. What up? Very shortly. Johnny is here. It's gonna wait for some people to show up, eh, bud? You know what I'm saying? How are you today? Kev, Mandy? Probably Kev. Just trying to figure out the old camera situation here. It's always a little different. It's always a little different. Come on. Good. It doesn't tell me right away. YouTube is weird. I prefer this style of live specifically because I can see the things happening like real time. Grom uses the Video Ninja, and I think I've done one live with him where it went well, and I think I could see the comments when they popped up. Oh, nice. And then Rick on the live in the morning, or the coffee talk with Rick and Chill, he uses StreamYard. And it works well, but I just don't mess around with the comments because I have to like hit a button to see them, and then they don't always refresh. So I prefer this, plus I can just do it from my phone, which is the easiest way possible. That's how I live my life. I was thinking about you recently, Kev. I don't know if you've ever seen the clips of this little kid. It's a little girl, and they like put a little microphone on her when she's snowboarding, and she's like flies down the hill, and she's like this cute little girl. She's probably like 4 or 5, and just like she's like talking to herself as she's going down the hill. But she was yeah. So I was just watching, and they had one clip where this little kid's mom and dad were a little bit in the clips and stuff, and they were, I don't know if they must just go on like weird days when there's no one at these runs, because they were going down some really steep like Black Diamond runs, and man, it looked fun. What's up, Billy? Coconut wireless. That's pretty funny, Uncle Billy. Coconut wireless. It was funny, I guess. I don't know how many hours you are behind. You said it's 10 there, so that's 7 hours behind us. Anyways, it's 3 p.m. here, so whatever time it is there. It's funny doing the Eastern time, doing Hawaiian time, and doing the British time. Like, is all three of like that's how I announce when I do shit. The 3 time zones: Island, Michigan, and fucking England. But yeah, I hope you guys are doing good. I know Billy's doing good. Man, it is pretty crazy. Sorry. It's pretty crazy. Yes, we are indeed. Just how you can make these YouTube algorithms kind of work for you. I mean, to a point, really. But man, it's pretty weird. I put out a video today, and I put out a short earlier, so I figured halfway through the day I was like, why don't I just hit the trifecta on a Saturday see what happens. I don't think I've ever done that before, where I've gone all 3 avenues and I made a post. So technically, I hit all of the YouTube bases. I'm not sure what that'll do. I'm surprised I haven't got more. I don't know TikTok too well, but I don't think. Oh, yeah. It's just a little bit north of Uncle Billy Bay. But yeah, it's cool. And it's what it is, it's an old port that they used to ship lumber out of from um like right in between Grand Rapids and the lake to Chicago. So it's got a lot of history there. 5 hours difference. Man, so there's only 1 hour difference between California and Hawaii. That's crazy. Anyways, this little cove, it's like one of the only places that you can find beach glass on a regular basis along the shore here. Between, I would say you're gonna have to go up to like at least Manistee to the north, and you got to go pretty far south to find it, towards Indiana at least. But yeah, it's really cool. And when you're down in there, I'll message you the name of it, Kev, on Instagram or something. But when you're down in there, um, you can see the end of each of these things. Yeah, beach glass is so awesome. And like basically growing up in the UP, uh, there's a lot of it up there. You could find it pretty much everywhere. But yeah, this little cove, it's so awesome. And you need to hit it on when there's some east in the wind, or on like a dying swell, like middle to the end of it. It can't have any of that main push. You got to get the sets coming in when it's there, or when you go there. But it's definitely worth it. And it's cool. And in the summertime, it's not too crowded, and they have bathrooms there. So it's like, and shade where you park. There's trees and stuff too. So, but it's like a place, there's a lot of money. There's like a trailer park. It's like the trailer park in Lexington, Kev, right by the beach. I think you said you surfed. It's on the north side of that pier in not Lexington. Yeah, in Lexington. Yeah. So it's just like that trailer park, like a trailer park, but it's not a trailer park. It's like a rich people's trailer park. But then also the houses around there are just massive, and a lot of property that goes right up to the lake that's now washed in and stuff like that. Yeah, it's down. Again, that's another weird spot on Huron. It's not super deep around there, and it's low enough where like there's not a lot of width. Yeah. You get up there, that's where it starts to get beautiful, the water's clean, not a lot of people. Why am I why am I smoking the pen? The pen is for when you're hiding, as it were. Man, it's a crazy number, Uncle Billy, because you got to think, when you get north of, hey Grom, hey, before I forget, I'll finish Uncle Billy's story in a minute. Fucking Grom has got like 15 subscribers in 2 weeks. It's insane. 312 right before I went on, I looked. Shit, dude. And that one short's got almost 8,000 views. That's fucking that's fucking crazy, dude. Um, but yeah, Uncle Billy, it is, yeah, it's nuts. The amount of camp spots that it's innumerable, especially, and Kevin can attest to this, or Mr. Jarrett. Stop dropping his first name, I guess. Um, he, yeah, dude. Um, once you get, I mean, up in Muskegon, there's like 3 or 4 campgrounds right on the lake. But when you get north of here, the population drops so much that there's a lot of like, and not just like state campgrounds. There's like just private ones, and man, there's so many. And I think it's probably similar to like how uh it was in California back in the day, where not necessarily where you could just pull up and park and be fine and find awesome waves, but if you know where the swell is going and you know where you think there's going to be waves, there's always, especially when the warmer months, not too many places are open in the winter, but um yeah. And Grom's little issue with the wave this weekend kind of proves the temperature difference, because even here, when it gets down to like 21, some of these camp spots, like there's a couple in Muskegon that are open year round, and they have outside bathroom, or not outside bathrooms, but like bathroom buildings with showers that stay open. And it's so weird. Most of the places do shut down, but I think there's a handful that you could find all year round right by the lake. But you go across to Huron, and I'm sure it's a lot different, at least until you get up to the northern part. Because no matter where you are in Michigan, if you're north of shit, I don't know, if you're north of, yeah, I bet. If you're north of like Gaylord, there's not a lot of people. Even when you get to Traverse City, and Alpena is on the east part of northern Michigan, northern lower Michigan, there's not a lot of people. So you could, yeah, dude. Yeah, yeah. Did you look up that place that I saw called Long Sands? I think I asked you about it and you said it's far away, but they always, like every day, I follow their Facebook page. It's called Long Sands Surf School. And I believe it's in, I believe it's in uh Tynemouth, Tynemouth. I'm pretty sure you said that's like a couple hours farther than the wave. However, whenever I see their Facebook post, very rarely is there not waves. So I don't know the difference. I don't know if it's colder. I think it's on the East Coast. I don't know. I don't know. I'm like 10 minutes from the lake, from like a surf spot with waves most of the time. So it's just like, I don't understand. I don't understand your struggle, dude. What I also don't understand is the YouTubeology, because I don't know if you guys saw that picture that I put in the group, but the video, the actual vlog that I put up, 4 hours and 26 minutes, yeah. The vlog that I put up this morning, I put up at probably 7-ish, and it had 15 views, and this dude sent me a screenshot. It had 15 views and 1,200 likes. And yeah, I don't know. That's kind of disheartening, because there's no way that can happen, first of all. And second, uh, if that's something that's happening, there's got to be more going on behind the scenes. It's just really unusual. And yeah, I don't know. It just makes me scratch my head a little bit, because in the recent times I've been talking about the YouTube's being more of a math problem, but then when you see some of that shit, it's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not the conspiracy kind of guy, but yeah. And I've been like almost trying to force myself to make like a van life video or van life vlog. And I don't know why it's so hard for me just to like nail down and do that, but I think that would also be like a good experiment, because yeah, it would just, yeah, it would be so different. And I haven't really done anything like that in about a year. since the other van died, or since I got this van back. But yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. There's so many different people that give you different advice on it, and it's just, man, I don't know. I wish it would make a little more sense. But anyways, that's yeah. It'll just flip me out. Anytime I think about it too hard, it'll flip me out. But it's crazy. I don't know. I guess even though the Jarretts are like a Ben Gravy fan, and I just sort of stumbled upon their van at the beach, almost everybody that has sort of come upon my channel or me on theirs has that one Ben Gravy common denominator. It's pretty crazy. And like, yeah, I don't know. It's pretty crazy. I was actually going to go watch that video that you were telling me about, Kevin. I haven't yet, but I can only imagine because that little clip, yeah. Oh, that's weird. Did you put out your second video yet? That second New Jersey video? The first one that you put up when you were at El Slamo, there's only a couple days that it looked, next Monday, that it looked like that, but at the same time, the reason why I kind of stopped watching him in the recent past was because it was just more like, I liked watching El Slamo every day because it was like surfing our spots, That's what I liked. But that clip that you sent of it, just I'd never seen it like that. So, but that's definitely a place where I'm gonna go if I get out there. Yeah, and like, I don't really watch. I used to watch a lot of like Nathan Florence too, and it's weird. When I played hockey, I didn't watch a lot of NHL, and now that I'm surfing a lot, I don't really watch too many surfers anymore. It's weird. I don't know why. I just don't. But yeah, I think the first time I get in the ocean, it might not even be in America. It might not even be like I might surf multiple different kinds of waves before I surf in the ocean, like the actual ocean. Think about that one. It would make perfect sense for me, though, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, hopefully the unemployment agency isn't watching this because I don't know if I'm really supposed to but yeah. I really again, I think if I go anywhere, it's not going to be super far until after the first of the year. But I mean, I might be going on some trips. I might be going on trips, like far away. But yeah. Yeah, dude. I might have something planned. To say I have anything planned would be a stretch in and of itself, no matter what you're talking about. I have a rough idea that's sort of kind of an idea. It's an idea. It's a full-on idea, actually. 100%. It's a good idea. It's a very good idea. And it's an idea. However, to call it a plan would be like calling me a pro surfer. Even semi-pro surfer. That would be like calling it a plan. But yeah, I would also like, because I buy a scratch ticket or two. So you never know. If I turn into 1,000 air all overnight, I would really like to go to Wisconsin, Uncle Billy. I think to answer your question, if I could, and I possibly would go somewhere before the end of the year, it would be to Wisconsin. And um but yeah. Hey, what's up, dude? So this dude Zoe is some of you might have heard that I was surfing with a guy from Minnesota. That's him. It was awesome. He came over and surfed like the 3 coldest days of the year so far. But yeah, cool dude. Slept in his vehicle like a boss. And I think I mean he's like a real adult, like with a family and stuff and like real job. So like yeah, dude. Yeah. So he surfed bird queefs and it wasn't a really good Uncle Billy Bay, unfortunately, but it wasn't as cold as the day before, so that was definitely a win, thankfully. But yeah, dude, I think yeah, have a plan to go somewhere. But in all honesty, like if I for some reason can't do multiple things, I am going somewhere in the first of the year. Like that's or the not necessarily the first of the year, perhaps February-ish. But if that's all, because that's gonna happen. But if that's all I can do, then the overwhelming plan for next year, like starting in the spring, is to work probably like double as much. Try to get 40 hours in a week for the summer, just because Grom will be here in September. That gives me a long time to, yeah. Yeah, so that's Zoe isn't near there, but yeah, same state. Yeah. But yeah, so Grom's trip is in September, I believe, or October or something like that. So yeah. And with the looking that I've been doing now into the things that I've been looking into, to work a bunch from like March until August and just save and not necessarily surf every single day, but just surf when it's good. To save up enough money to like fly to the East Coast for a day and then get back here and then go to California and then go to Hawaii really wouldn't be that tough, especially like the time of year that you would be flying and the fact that I'd already be in this country. So I wouldn't have to be like coming over here and shit. And then also, there's a lot of driving that I can do also to like save myself uh like the stress of having to go to the fucking airport and having to get dropped off there and picked up and all of the things, just all of the things in my brain, because I could have my shit, like my house, so everything, it's just a different thing. However, that's the plan starting at least in April, is to kind of surf when it's good. I've got to a point with the channel and my surfing and just life at this point, to where I can kind of like put it on autopilot a little bit and sort of pick and choose days, like maybe just like start to have days where I don't do shit, I guess, basically like not having to do something every single day. And but then planning for next fall through winter, because after Grom's trip ends, I only have a couple months till I'm unemployed. And then, what do you mean? What do you mean? Oh, don't be a don't be a fucking diaper. You're being a diaper right now. What would Steve think of that comment, Grom? What would Steve say about that? Huh? That's what I thought. Steve wouldn't like that comment. But yeah, that's not gonna happen. Also, here's the thing. I'm not what you would call a responsible adult, as it were. And if I can save money, um, I mean, you never know, dude. All of that can happen. But if I can make these sort of rough ideaed plans, it's not going to skunk anyone. You know what I'm saying? Plus, like, dude, if you just buy your tickets sooner than later, you won't have a choice, you know? You just won't have a choice. Take the choices away. Just like Steve said today. Did you guys see the part in one of Steve's videos where he said everybody needs a tree? That shit was so fucking funny. Oh, everybody needs a tree, guys. Fucking everybody needs a tree. Yeah, bro. I got a fucking tree. Speaking of trees, you know what? I had the best idea today. I want to put a couple signs on the fence along the road, on the golf course fence that says you cut Christmas trees. And then like an arrow pointing down to my van where it says pay. It would be spring cleanup and extra money. I can make my travel plans before January with that shit. There's like this Christmas tree farm right up the road, and I was like, dang, dude, those are already cut. We got like these healthy bitches growing right out of the ground here. I trimmed them up last year, dude. We would only need the rich people though, because what up, dude? I got a tree. Yeah, we got a bunch. I think we have like 750 trees out here. It would be nice. See, I'm not a cut the tree down guy on a golf course because I've seen what it does. It really, really makes a difference. But I also like money, so you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I thought that shit would be so funny. My boss drives by, he's like, what the fuck? You cut Christmas trees. That's crazy. But yeah, dude. I've actually, with all of these new subscribers showing up little by little, I've been wanting to do this, but every time I do a live, I'll get a couple people talking about random weird stuff. We haven't had anybody in here yet, but it's never any van life people that show up and ask about that. It's really bizarre, you know? I do appreciate the weirdos that show up and talk about Palestine and tell me to repent and all of the things. But I would like some people who were sort of normal, or at least not crazy, and then also like that, just found it. But like I said earlier, I had a short out and I put a regular vlog, and so I was like, and I made a post about this live. So I'm quadranting the YouTube universe, and I'm feeling it, you know? I don't know what it is. I have no clue, but I've seen massive growth in the past, I don't know, 4 months. A lot of very steady growth, and instead of instead of just letting it go, just coasting, I'm like, man, I gotta put the pedal to the metal. Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, that kid. I think that's where they're from. Yeah, yeah. It's called a raccoon. But yeah, those guys are cool. They're just kids. I think that I don't know how old they are, but they're pretty cool. What's up, Radman? Hey, Radman. I was looking around a map of. Oh, what's up, dude? Yeah, dude. Hey, that's this dude's van, bro. Yeah. Did like 50 people just show up at once? What the fuck? Anyways, hey, Radman. Um, I was looking at a map of England recently, and I was looking at Portland Island. And I know that's by Torquay, which gets lots of waves. But do you know if Portland Island gets anything? I know that the distance between that and the Isle of Man. What are you laughing at, Grom? I know that that place and the Isle of Man are close, or whatever that island is. But that Portland place, that looks like you'll get some sick waves. Turkey? Turkey. No, it's Torquay. You know what I'm saying? The British guy. The British guy telling me how to speak American. I'll be damned. Damn! Daihatsu Dave. Yeah, thanks a lot, Daihatsu Dave. I've been on here. I guess you're only 31 minutes late. That's okay. That's okay. That's within the average range of not being late, I guess, is the best way to put it. What's up, Daihatsu? Daihatsu. That the name Daihatsu Dave sometimes makes me laugh. Randomly makes me laugh. What would be the best thing about van life and the worst thing about van life? The worst thing about van life is everybody looks at me like I don't take showers, like I smoke some kind of man-made crystalline substance, and that I don't know how to read or spell. The best thing, there's a lot of really good things, but a lot of the stuff, is just not for everybody. So I could rattle off like 20 things that are great about van life, like all of the people that I meet and the fact that like in the summertime, because I am in Michigan, I mean, it's 37 degrees Fahrenheit right now. And I'm nice and warm. I do have a heater going in the background, but that doesn't work too well. The other van is nice and warm. But yeah, the good things are just innumerable. The bad things are just like what the people who think weird shit about people who live in a van for whatever reason, I wouldn't want to be their friends anyway. So the positives far outweigh the negatives, but it's definitely a sorry about that. It's definitely an acquired taste, like the Brussels sprouts of life, as it were. What does Redman have to say? The Isle of Wight. Oh, yeah, dude. So you guys are the Isle of Wight. I say Isle of Man. That's not the right one. Yeah. So Portland Island is close to the Isle of Wight. Yeah, anyways, I was looking around all of the Englands, and there's some cool shit. There's some really cool shit. The amount of... This thing not focusing? The amount of... Is this going crazy? Or is that just me? Because I was just smoking some weed. It's pretty awesome to see... Good, thank you. It's pretty awesome just to like kind of zoom in and look at all of those spots that could get some waves. But I feel like, and I guess correct me if I'm wrong, but we get a lot of waves out here in comparison, and I know some of those spots are kind of closed off and in between two continents or whatever, but I don't know. Have you ever, Radman, been to the Long Sands Surf School? Or wait, it's in Tynemouth. Have you ever been to Tynemouth? because they seem like they always get waves. Whenever I see the waves, they're not huge. It's like they get like 2 to 4 foot waves like every single day. Pretty clean, fun looking waves. I would be hard pressed like driving to some of these spots that I see in England. I could only imagine like all the cool shit you would see along the way that would distract me from fucking getting to the beach. Oh, look at that thing. Look at that thing. It's like an 800-year-old building next to a McDonald's. Let's take a picture of that. Take a picture. Take a picture. The ultimate tourist. So I'm lucky in the fact that my boss lets me park at my work. So to my right, there's a whole shop. Part of it is heated, so it's like 50 degrees all year. And inside there, there's like a 3 foot shop fan. So if I need stuff dried like ultra quickly, I'll just turn that huge fan on and I'll hang them up by my locker and just spray the fan at my locker and it'll dry the suits and my gloves really quickly. But normally, what I'll do is I have a heater in this van, a little well, not a little one, it's like a foot tall electric heater, and that's how I stay warm. Like it keeps that thing as warm as I want it. It's like 60 degrees all the time in there. But I'll just put my gloves and my boots kind of just lined up right in front of it, and that small amount of hot air over, I don't know, 12 hours or something will dry pretty much everything out. But I'm pretty lucky. If I was a real van lifer, I would need a diesel heater, hands down. There's no way you could do van life in Michigan without running your heat all at like multiple times through the night to warm the van up. You couldn't do it in a van that wasn't insulated at some capacity. This one that I'm in all the time, or that is parked, is only insulated on the walls. It's 2 inches on each side, but the ceiling and floors are not insulated, and either are the doors, and it makes a huge difference. This van, there's times like if it stays around 50 degrees and I have the heater on for really more than an hour, this van is insulated so well on all four sides that it won't really lose temperature overnight. It pretty much stays around 50 degrees if the outside temperature. Once it starts to get 40 and below, um, that's when this one is kind of uncomfortable in the morning. But um, yeah, it's like if I wasn't allowed to park my vans here and plug in, I would need a diesel heater, period. Yeah, so the Jarretts have, I believe it's a Freightliner. Correct me if I'm wrong. Anyways, it's a big van like Wanda's, and yeah, the insulation is absolutely, it's a Ford Transit. Um, the insulation is key. Like I'm in 4 or 5 different Facebook van life groups, like not just Michigan. There's only one van. I'm only in one Michigan van life group, and I rarely see any shit go on in there. But the ones with like people from all over, mainly in the southwestern part of America, um, they're always talking like it gets to 40 and these people are cold, and I can understand it because it's not warm. But like I said, like right now, I don't have socks on, and that heater is just warming up the. It just makes it just nice enough in here to. What's up, Steve? To sit and do the live. Once I'm done, I'm just gonna turn that one off and go over there. But without insulation in a van, in some capacity, you have to have it. Um, you have to have it. Period. It gets too cold here. Um, so yeah. Well, and dude, like I'm telling you what, I don't think I'm gonna go back to regular life. It's gonna be, I don't know. I don't know if I get, I don't know what will happen in the future, but I don't think I will ever live in a regular house. But I will be moving farther and farther away from civilization. That's my goal. you know, like whether it be the Isle of Wight or the UP, um, I'm gonna, I don't, the whole everything going on, it makes me more glad that I started to do this van life shit because it keeps the riffraff away to a point, and only the cool people interact with me. So that is good. But also it gives me the freedom to like really be able to like truly change where I am. Like after Bear died, I could really go anywhere. All of the extra ass shit I did from yeah, I sorry. All of the extra shit that I did was really to keep Bear like happy, all of the plugging in at all these places and um really this job was like it was great in so many ways, but most like ultra good for Bear just because he had like a place that was like he could just be calm and nobody messed with him no matter what he was doing. And but yeah, so like I could do a million things and van life is what does it. But yeah, I don't know. Again, I need to make a couple more van life videos or something, but but we'll see. We'll see. I don't know if I'm going to be living the island life like Billy and Radman anytime soon, but maybe I could move to that island in Zoe, what's the name of that island in Superior, in Lake Superior? I'm not going to think of it. I don't fucking remember what it's called. I could move to that island. That's about the closest island that Isle Royal. Thank you. We got Radman in the Isle of Wight. We got Billy in Hawaii. And my broke ass will live on Isle Royal. The time zone, I could just take 30 minutes off of the time that I'm in now. Yeah. Dude. I hear moose. I watched this channel called Post 10. It's really funny. It's this dude in New Hampshire who goes around cleaning drains out from beavers that clog the drains. Anyways, he's like a moose expert. And yeah. Yeah, I watched that video. Go watch the Jared's Journey video on Isle Royal. Yeah, dude. Cockney Buddha and Radman, two Britishes conversing on Chill Adventures Live. I mean, is it the pink hair tie? Probably not, but it could be. You never know. You never know. Yeah, and see, like, there's so many things that I could do. And I lived in Marquette for a long time. So, like, Pictured Rocks and a lot of the UP things, like, I did a lot. Not that I don't want to do them again. However, like, there's so many places that I could go surf. I've never been on the northeast part of Michigan. Like, I coached a hockey game in Alpena one time. That's it. And so that part of Lake Huron, I hear that there's a place called Penis Point. I wouldn't go there because it's called Penis Point, but I hear it's got good waves. And I wouldn't even have to make up a name for the place in the vlog. So one less thing to think about, which is always good. But I've never been up there. And yeah, there's so many spots. there's so many spots, you know. I don't want to spoil too much, but this old van here crept over the 300,000 mile mark about a week ago. I have a video made of it, but I'm still trying to make it all good and shit. So I'm hoping to tag Chevy and like maybe they'll give me a brand new van. Cause then, which I deserve, not I didn't put 300,000 miles on this van, but I was the one for who coddled it across the finish line, as it were. You know what I'm saying? You betcha. And yeah, yeah. Yeah, actually, the dude that I bought this van from, when I got it, it looked like you would think I built it. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't. And he told me he slept in it once on a snowboarding trip, and I couldn't believe it because there was really nothing to it. But yeah, this thing has got I don't know what they call that furry fiberglass insulation, but that's got that on all of the sides, like on the walls, and that I think is the biggest help. It also has 1.5 inch board insulation on the roof and the floor. The floor, hands down, rock wool. The floor insulating it, at least in Michigan, again, we have most nights are in the 20s. I don't know. Most, at least this time of year, not all year, but this time of year, it's been like that for probably a month now. The lows are between 35 and 25, maybe 35 and 28, something like that. And the insulated floor is key. Like, even though heat rises, blah blah blah, the amount of, like, when the floor gets cold, it's just like one of those little blocks, those little things you put in your cooler that you put in the fridge, or the freezer, and they get all cold. That's what it like radiates coldness, and it doesn't stop. I've had to put rugs all over in there because I didn't insulate the floor. But that rock wool stuff is like, if you can afford to spray foam your van, which I've seen a lot of people do, it's messy and I think it's kind of expensive. That's the way to go. But from my experience, if you can buy enough of that rock wool shit to line if I get a new van, like if I get a van that I don't have to do some shit in the winter, so I have a place to live and I have like a couple months, it's gonna have that all over. I'm not gonna use any other kind of stuff. That's like, and that's just me personally, it it seems like it like where I have it on the sides, when it got really cold and this was the only van that I had, you could see the spots where there was no rock wool because there would be ice on the outside of the van, but where there was that rock wool, it would just be wet and like dripping. It was crazy, dude. It's the best that I found, at least for these kind of vans. I don't know with like the newer ones, like what the Jarretts have, and like what Wanda has. I just don't know what I don't know, because those are so much taller, I don't know what the condensation issues are for things like that. Plus, I also don't have like a shower. I don't really cook in these to the point where that would be an issue. I also don't have like a roof vent. So like this is pretty rudimentary shit. But yeah, I don't know. Definitely that Rockwell stuff is pretty awesome. At least that's what I'm gonna go with. Yeah, and you know what's weird? The family from New Zealand, the Leopards Go Wild, they have a pull behind, and they get a lot of condensation in their cupboards, like the storage above their head, and I don't know why. Obviously, like where they're at in New Zealand is, I would assume it's similar. In the southern new part of New Zealand, it might be a little colder than it is in England, but in the North Island, I think it's a little bit warmer. year round. Yeah. Yeah. Dude, I don't know. If I had enough money, I think the way I would go is a truck camper. Buy a nice pickup and find a nice truck camper. Wow, there's some people walking in a weird spot. That's weird. Kind of creepy. Anyway, sorry for getting distracted. Um, Truck camper, man. That's what I think. Cause you could drop the camper, and if you didn't want to take it, but most of the time, even with a truck camper, if you have a decent truck, um, you'd still be able to get back most places. But yeah, that's it. That's what I think I would do. After all the looking, an RV would be nice, but that really limits you. I've seen some vans that have that Quigley 4x4 conversion. And one guy I talked to said he likes it, but they're so tall when you get a lift that it's hard with that wheelbase because it's narrow. It's narrow enough where when you lift it like that, it gets kind of wobbly. But I don't know. Who knows? Let's hope so. The other van I have is a diesel, so really that needs brakes and tires right now, which of course I procrastinated and didn't really do shit on all summer, and now I'm kind of like probably should have thought about that at some point. But that thing or this other van should, you know, that'll get me through the next portion of my existence once this thing goes kaput. What I had thought of, like in my being a kind of a poor surfing golf course working guy, I could get a car trailer and then put this van on the car trailer, and then it would just be like an RV. I would like put a little picket fence. I would build it out on the car trailer around so it looks like a little thing, a little porch thing, and fake flowers, and I would put some grass, some fake astroturf in here, take the seats out, and it could be like one of those 50s diners, but it would just be a van on a car trailer that I lived in. But dude, I'm telling you what, I honestly think that one of two things is going to happen. Mark my words. Everything is going to stay the same, or yeah, everything's going to stay the same, or it'll be completely different. So I got that going for me. And who knows? And like maybe it won't even be a picket fence. If I like, let's say I become a thousandaire, like I was talking about earlier. Some of these rednecks that I work with, they could weld something, so I could get like one of those fancy wrought iron fences, like at Parliament, dude. And that look all cool with that way it would be like a deterrent for people coming in, and it would look cool. I would get one that was all patinaed and rusty and that cool color because they could weld. There's a welder here, like a machine that welds. I'm sure they wouldn't be here if yeah, do that too. This is what I'm saying. The possibilities are endless, and with this diesel, whenever I drive the other van around, I mean it goes 0 to 50 in at least like 25 seconds. It's fast as shit, dude. It's like we should name it White Lightning. Look at that thing. Look at this. You see that? That's a decal. Some people think like that's where somebody ran their grocery cart at Tesco's into the side of it. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. That's a decal. Only the fastest vans were built with decals, as it were. Or at least that's what I've told myself. Actually, dude, I saw this short on Instagram where these people were like graffitiing the side of a train with this special spray paint. And I was like, I gotta find some of those people. If they like graffitiing stuff, I'll just go park my van where they live and show them like my logo, and then they could graffiti my van with my logo. So like I would get a wrap sort of, and then they could be graffitiing shit. You know what I'm saying? But I haven't looked into that very hard yet. It's hard to find graffitiers. I think it goes with the territory, but they aren't very vocal with their graffitiing. It's hard to find them in the daytime. I wonder if they have jobs, or maybe they're sleeping because they have to do all the graffiti at night. Oh, it's the leopard, dude. I was just talking about you, bro. Hey, um, what was the issue that you guys were having with the condensation in your cupboards and shit? Did you figure that out? And everybody go check out their channel. The leopards go wild. They're in the house, dude. You just woke up. Dude, what are you doing? Where are you at? Tell everybody where you're at. When's your next video coming out? Five people in a small space. Yeah, dude. I can only imagine like during shower time in the winter. That would probably have been with all of that hot moisture and everybody coming out of the hot shower. It's the leopards go wild. Just click on the thing. I think you can click on the link. Nice. Yeah, so they're a family of 5 who live in New Zealand in a caravan. We would call it a travel trailer here in America. And it's epic what they do. You gotta, yeah, it's crazy because if you saw what they were doing just before like they left, and I don't know when I subscribed to you guys, but man, it was so awesome because they got 3 kids that are pretty young still, and Mike and his wife, like, it's just crazy how they got everything ready and just fucking did it, dude. With so many people out here, like when they meet me at the beach and I'm like, yo, van life is like the best thing ever. They're like, oh, I can't because I got kids, da da da. I'm like, you gotta yeah. I'm like, watch this. Go look up leopards go wild. I tell that to so many people that are like, oh, I got kids and da da da. I'm like, come on, man. Especially in America. Like, if you guys are doing it in fucking New Zealand, you can do it in America. It's like, it's so different. It was crazy because right after they went full time in their caravan, they came to America to do this thing at a summer camp in, I think it was North Carolina. But so they get out of their house, they rented out their house, and they're in a van or they're in a caravan with their kids, and then they come to America for like 6 months. It was bananas, dude. Yeah. Yeah, dude, you gotta watch and watch a couple of the early ones too, Steve. It's so sick, dude. Yeah, it's crazy. It's just crazy because I like, you know how I live, and you got it. Just seeing some of the places that they go, it's so bananas. It's so crazy, dude. There's a reason. Like, obviously, I'm not a super huge fan of Instagram, but there's a reason why like they're the people who who I follow on Instagram. It's just like it's amazingly, yeah, yeah. Yeah, obviously they worked their asses off. Like it wasn't all fun and games and shit, but like where it is now is just like the ultimate. It's like if they're doing that there, that's why I don't like that's why I do what I do to be as close to what they do as possible, dude. It's just so, and they live in like New Zealand is the place, bro. The place. Yeah, surfing in a cold lake. That's what I gotta do to be that's what I gotta do to be more like the leopards go wild, bro. That's what I gotta do. That's as close as I come. I mean, they just spent, how long did you guys spend in the South Island of New Zealand? They had these things called the hoarfrosts. They were at the place where the Lord of the Rings was filmed. His oldest daughter is like basically surfboarding on a boogie board, and I don't think anyone's ever showed her how to surf properly, and she's riding it like a surfboard on like legit every single bay that they go into is like the most epic freaking bay of all. It's just amazing. It's insane. Go watch some of their shit. I'll stop talking them up. They also did some crazy. How did that interview turn out, by the way? Still in the South Island. It's insane. I didn't realize how close it was to Antarctica. It's just like, oh, getting embarrassed. Some guy with 1 million subscribers just did a freaking interview with them. He's not getting embarrassed. How did that interview turn out, by the way? And fuck, dude, you fucking deserve that. Like, you deserve the 1 million interview guy. Some of the drone shit, like Tori and Grom, they're drone people too. 30-year-old Grom and Vanlife Wanda, they fly their drones too. And it's like, you guys will shit at some of these places where Mike gets to fly his drone. It's just like, it's so crazy. Oh, man. Yeah, I guess the 1 million subscriber life is a little bit different, eh? A little bit different editing schedule. See, Kev, but see, when we're surfing, I would rather you be out surfing, not flying a drone. So many people have been like, "Oh yeah, I'll come out with my drone and da da da," and you never see them. You see drones flying around, but you know what's crazy? The amount of people who I have talked to specifically who are like photographers and drone flying people who never end up coming out, there's a huge market. There's a hole there, you know? And I'm not the camera guy. I just want to film what I film and do what I do. But there's somebody like this last dude who I met in Muskegon. He had like the little goggles, the drone goggles, and he was like getting down in there. And I was like, dude, come to South Haven. Come to South Haven. There's a like you're gonna shit when you see these waves and what people are getting on. And he didn't want to or whatever, but yeah, there's a huge hole here for drone people's either shooting whatever. Yeah. But I mean, that video that I put up today is a great example of when I'm surfing with some people who are like trying to catch waves in the right spot and, you know, just like, yeah, trying to catch good waves in the right spot, and they aren't idiots and pieces of shit. Like, you can get some really good stuff with shitty GoPros in the water, but it doesn't do anything against a good beach view where you can see the whole wave and the whole vista. And then obviously drone footage is king, probably, at least right now. Because Grom, dude, that little skate montage, I don't know, you've been putting up so much shit in relation to how you've normally put stuff up. But just filming yourself skateboarding, and you did that, you did the little fast motion thing where you like zigged around the drain cover, like, you know, you can't argue with that. Yeah. Sorry. It's hard to read sometimes. But yeah, dude. And I think people's drones, just because it's so cold here, I get it. But, you know, suck it up. Suck it up. Plus, there's been multiple people who've been like, yeah, like, I'd really like to do this and do that. But, you know, whatever. I definitely yeah, it's hard to justify in my own head spending more on camera shit than it than I do on actual surfing stuff because that's my end game. But priorities change. Nah, dude, here, I'll spin you around, and I know that you didn't know how much was there, but it's all gone now. Like we had a significant amount, and it's all gone now. The first big snow that we had, we got 1 foot in about 15 hours in a weird time. I believe it was end of October, maybe, or maybe the middle of last month. I can't remember exactly, but we don't normally have that much snow. And then about a week ago, we had another mid dusting, maybe 6 inches. Um, but for the next couple weeks, it is, yeah, it's damp and cold, but it's like high 30s, low 40s for the next while. So, like, that's pretty good. And people say that we're in some sort of El Nino year, so it's going to be warmer. Um, but yeah, and I'm sure you saw in the videos that I've put up. Yeah, it's probably been like 2 months and we've had two good snowstorms, so that's about it. And that's good. Like everybody always says they'd rather have the snow and then not necessarily have like this wet, gross conditions, but I'll go without the snow. I don't like the snow. I I don't care. The cold isn't an issue for me necessarily because, like, at the end of the day, I'm getting in the water. So, like, I'm going to be colder than it is, anyways, no matter what. So, I just don't like the snow. I would prefer, but you know what, man? There, if I could really swing it, I would just come out to New Zealand. That's my real end game. If I become a 100,000aire, I would buy one of those houses that is literally out. You guys showed one house, this random ass little house out in the middle of nowhere in some peninsula. It was videos and videos ago. And that's what I would get. I don't know how I would pay for it. You guys could look after it, but I don't know. I would live in the UP some of the year and then where you guys live. It's like if I had the money, plus, and I don't know if it's because I watch your channel so much, but man, I tell you what, like it seems like there aren't a ton of problems in that country. There's shit everywhere, but it seems like most of the people in New Zealand are more interested about keeping like the way of life good for everybody rather than sort of folding into the money and shit and keeping things clean. And yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's just how I see it from the small bit of like actual, or I guess what I would assume are actual like news reels and shit that I see or whatever. But man, it is the most fucking beautiful place I've ever seen. And if you guys have no clue what I'm talking about, just go watch some of their things. Hawaii would be amazing to live, Uncle Billy, but dude, it's just so overrun with like it's just like if California was an island almost. It's like there's just if it was just if Hawaii was what it was, or what everybody thinks it was or thinks it is or what everybody wants it to be, that would be the place. But yeah, so I've been able to see a lot of like roadways and stuff in England in the past few months. Just oddly enough, I've been able to see that. But it seems like in New Zealand, aside from the giant hills that you don't like to drive up and down, it seems like most of the places are like they have room for larger vehicles. And I don't know if that's just because like I don't know if how big you guys is like delivery trucks or semi trucks or whatever, but um it seems like you can get around with your pickup truck and your see ya, Kev. Yeah, dude. Go subscribe to their channel if you haven't, please. They're almost at 200. But it seems like you guys can get around with your pickup truck and your bye Grom. Yeah. Go subscribe to Grom's channel. See ya. Been going for an hour anyways. Also, the whole island only has 1 million. Man, it's just so crazy. That is such a small place with what seems like so much history, you know? And not a lot of people, really. Back. He's back. We didn't even know he left. See you, Grom. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for showing up, hanging out. Talk to you later. I will say, Mike, when I saw that bill for your groceries, it did give me hope. Now, I'm not saying that that was a small bill, but for a one-man band like me, or maybe if I had another person, me, and let's say I found some poor distressed chick who made bad decisions and I tricked her into liking me. Two people could live in New Zealand for not a crazy amount of money. And what is it like for like van lifers? It seems like there's a lot of places you can park up. Obviously, that NZMCA thing that you always talk about is like crazy. Yeah, dude. Yeah. If you're taking off, take off, man. And thank you for showing up. That was crazy. I can't believe you came around. Made my day, buddy. Yeah, man. Hey, don't let me keep you. Go do your thing. But yeah, that's cool. This is why I like doing these lives, dude. This is awesome. Random ass people coming in. So many different places here. Yeah, dude. See? You never know, Mike. Maybe I'll retire there. Me and you can be old men. Stay off our lawn. Get away from our camper. Yeah, dude. We could just have Toby catch us some of that power. He'll earn his keep. Hell yeah, dude. I bet you most of the stuff is fresh down there, too. For the most part. It's not like we don't get fresh food in America, but man. One of these days I'll get out to New Zealand. I can't now. Can't not now. See you, Mike. I'll talk to you soon, dude. But dude, that's so crazy. Got England. Got I guess the Isle of Wight is England too, sort of. New Zealand, Hawaii, multiple states, multiple places in Michigan. It's crazy, dude. I love it. I love it. This was the point. This was the point. What do you say, Uncle Billy? Has the surf changed or what? And what about you, Buddha? What time is it? 4 something? You gonna surf, Uncle Billy, or what? Man, I tell you, like, I don't know. I would almost like after the other day. Good. I'm glad you're all good. I got a video coming out in a couple weeks, but I was surfing the other day and some guy dropped in on me at like the worst time. There was some guy who just caught a wave like on the most shallow part of the sandbar. I was behind the peak trying to make it through that section. This guy dropped in on me right after where the guy was standing on the sandbar. He was standing on his feet. And man, I got so mad I flipped out on the guy. But I don't think that I could surf in big crowds like in Hawaii or something, man. I'm sure I would figure it out after a while, but I mean, there was like four guys and this guy was, yeah, it was insane. I always think about it because, like, man, Uncle Billy's right there. He's already in Hawaii, you know? Man, yeah, that's another thing. When you're surfing in the ocean, it's just you have to find such different times to go out, you know? It's like here on the lake, if there's a wave breaking, you can essentially just go, you know? You don't got to worry about a tide or a reef or whatever. You know, if there's a wave breaking, you're pretty much guaranteed to be able to ride it at some capacity. But there, even if it's breaking, you could be breaking on dry reef and it could be, you know, the one spot that goes when it's bigger, but it's tiny or whatever. Um, I've never heard I've never heard of a handboard called the wedge, but I Catch Surf has some handboards. I forgot what they're called, like a thumper or something like that. And it they look like they're a lot of fun. It's just the waves out here. There's some guys who bodyboard out here, like a womper. Yeah, that's what it is. There's some guys who bodyboard out here with flippers and shit, and only the best bodyboarders are out when we're getting waves. And there's probably, I mean, Zoe, I don't know how many of them are out at where you are. I would assume that there's less just because the water gets so much colder there, so much earlier. But we don't have anybody that uses those handboards out here. The waves just aren't Yeah, the waves just aren't powerful enough for them. I see them like when I watch that channel called Raw Beefs and they're surfing in like SoCal and shit and there's small waves, you know, really good for those beach breaks or whatever. But they look really fun. I've just never heard of one called the Wedge. Yeah, yeah, and that's the one thing that I would worry about moving to a place that has a huge surf population is just like the constant like crowdedness. I'll look at like the Leopards Go Wild videos and they go to every place, huge waves, tiny waves, little closeout, whatever. And there's like never anyone there surfing. Never anyone ever. Sometimes the waves are either so big and messy and unmanageable that it's that you wouldn't surf them, and then other times you can tell that they are pretty small and they're closing out in weird spots, but there's never anybody there. So like, you know, it's give and take. Plus, like the guy that this thing that happened the other day was just so frustrating because there was literally only four people out. They paddled over to where I was because they saw me catching waves, and then I get dropped in on like, and it wasn't just a normal drop in. It was a really good wave, and there were one guy I almost hit. I could have got this other dude that dropped in on me, you know, and I don't have insurance. That's another thing that really fucking pissed me off. It's like he saw what he was doing. He had the balls to apologize. And like what if I fucking broke my arm? Like that's a big issue. Not just the money and all the other shit, but like I wouldn't be able to surf for a long ass time and shit. So yeah, I don't know. The crowds scare me about places like that, but at the same time, being able to surf in shorts and warm weather would be nice, you know, because I don't think we're gonna have waves here for at least another like 20 hours, and then when we do, it's gonna be sort of smallish. I haven't bought new gloves yet because I gotta get my passport renewed. So we'll see. We'll see. But man, going on an hour and 20 minutes. I think I'm going to sign off for this Saturday live, unless anybody has anything pressing they would like to add. I appreciate everybody showing up. What a great turnout. Adios, Cockney Buddha. I hope everybody goes back through here and at least subscribes to each other's channel. That if you're not, all of these people are awesome. Hey, see you, Zoe. Don't worry, I'm working on our little edit. The Hamburglar strikes very soon. Don't worry. See you there, bro. Thanks for watching, dude. Rad man. It's always good. I appreciate you coming over. Yeah. All right, guys. I'll see everybody. Bye.